Hi, my name is Cindy. Welcome to Snacks and Stacks. I like to talk about books, TV, and movies, and I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that I absolutely adore and I think more people should watch, especially adults, and that is anime. So this video is going to be for fantasy book lovers who want to try anime. Some of these are very popular, tried and true series, but I think that they are worth mentioning, especially if you are new to the world of anime. So I know a lot of people might think that animated movies and shows are more geared for kids, or some people might think they're weird. But I think if you like fantasy, anime is one of the best mediums to portray magic and all that really, really cool stuff. And so here are my 5 suggestions for anime beginners. If you like epic fantasy, I highly recommend Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You follow 2 brothers who are alchemists, and alchemy is the magic of forming things with the things that already are around. And so you can see some people are specialized in fire alchemy and they find ways to create fire. Our main characters are great at kind of maneuvering metal and is able to work with that. I don't have like the greatest explanation, it just looks fantastic. And we follow 2 brothers who try to basically perform an alchemy taboo. It is a no-no. They try it and they fail. And in failing, they sacrificed one brother's whole body and his soul is basically in a suit of armor. And the other brother loses a leg and an arm. And they are kind of on this journey to try to recover mostly his body back. And you follow them in this journey, in this quest, and you meet all these people, and it's fantastic. The bad guys in this, the villains, are so great. They're done so well. There's humor in this, so you can still have a good time, even though some of the subjects are very heavy and serious. It's just fantastic. It is one of the best animated series out there, and you're looking for the one that says Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's the one that I watched. I've heard the other one is okay as well, but that Brotherhood is a bit better. And yeah, and if you are a female who wants good female characters in a fantasy story, Full Metal will give that to you. Like, it's actually a manga that was written by a woman, which is why I think that the characters are done so well, and even women characters. I mean, they're all badass, they're all fantastic, they're all nuanced, they're all like real people. It's a fantastic, fantastic show. Now, if you feel like a TV show is too long, you might just want to start with a movie. I think one of the newest movies out that might get your attention, especially if you are a sci-fi fantasy lover, is Suzume. Suzume is a coming-of-age story. You are watching a teenage girl as she goes through things and, you know, tries to figure out who she is. At the same time, she's saving Japan. So in the very beginning of the movie, Suzume meets a closer, and he is someone that goes around and finds these doors and locks them before a worm can come through, like this giant purple worm comes through and destroys Japan. And these doors show up in places that were abandoned. she basically meets this guy, and something happens and he cannot do his job the way he's been doing, and so she's going to help. That's like the most non-spoilery way of explaining the movie in my words. But what we learn about is we learn about loss and grief, and there's a lot of big themes in this movie that it explores. There's also an animal companion and an inanimate animate object that is fantastic, and the illustration style is gorgeous. The worm, although it sounds weird, I'm going to put in some imagery here so you can see it, feels very threatening. She's the only one that can see it, along with the closer guy. There is a subplot of romance in there, but it's really just a story, a coming of age story, and it's a very good one. It's a very good one. Next is another movie. This is an older movie, and this is a Studio Ghibli movie that is called Princess Mononoke. This is probably going to be for the fantasy lovers who love reading about nature, maybe spirits, a bit about, like, if you were a fan of Avatar as a kid, I think you might also like Princess Mononoke because of the whole spirit world part of it. This is about a guy named Ashitaka, and he is banished from his village after getting his arm cursed by a spirit, and he has to leave his village in order to find a cure. And because his village is a secret, and very much a remote type of village, in order to cure himself, he is banished by his community, which he is actually the prince of. And so he's trying to find answers, and in doing so meets Princess Mononoke, who was a girl who grew up with these spirit wolves, and she is kind of fighting with the humans, other humans, who are trying to kind of expand and get rid of the spirits because they just want to build. This is the classic story of nature versus technology, and I think it's done super well. And if you love animals, you will love it. And you might be very sad too. Maybe I shouldn't say if you love animals, you will love it. Anyways, next is for the urban fantasy lovers. This is going to be Death Note, is my ultimate recommendation. Now, I will be the first to admit, Death Note is not my favorite show. I actually never finished watching it, but my husband loves it. He definitely could probably tell you more about it. But Death Note is about a high school student who finds a notebook and figures out that if you write their name, someone's name, and the way they die, and like a time and date, I think, then it will happen. And along with this notebook is a Shinigami who kind of tells you the rules, follows you around, because I think the notebook and him are like attached somehow, or it's his notebook, but Light, the guy who found it, is the one that's writing in it. I don't know all the details. Yeah, you basically follow the police as they're trying to figure out who's doing these murders. Is it a serial killer or is it not? And you also follow Light and his kind of, I don't know what to call it, his, agenda of killing what he thinks are people that should be killed. It's crazy. So just full disclosure, I love really cute, cozy things. Death Note is not cute or cozy, and it gets to a point where I'm like, I don't like anyone in this show. And I was also very young when I started Death Note. I don't know if I would feel the same way now, so I might give it another chance. But when I found that it was hard for me to root for someone in the show, I quickly dropped it. Last, this is technically not an anime, but it is an animated show. It is on Netflix. It's called Castlevania. And this is for those who like paranormal fantasy. You are following Dracula, and he is trying to kill everybody. You're also following 3 characters who's trying to stop Dracula from killing all the humans. Trevor Belmont, his family was vampire hunters. Saifa Belnades, she is from a group of like magicians, and then also Dracula's son. And this show is actually based on a video game, but I thought it was done extremely well. There's fantastic action scenes, and it's getting to the spooky season, which is when we usually rewatch this show. Now, all the other shows I talked about, besides Death Note, I think is probably also a very adult show. This one is a very adult show. This is not like I'm gonna watch this with my kids and see if they might, you know, have good bonding moments with me. Castlevania is an adult show. So that's just a warning in case you were thinking, since it's animated, maybe I'll watch this with my kid. It would have to be like an older kid, way older. My 12-year-old has watched parts of Full Metal Alchemist with me. I think he has watched parts of Suzume with me. He's not very interested in it. And he's definitely watched Princess Mononoke with me. But yeah. So those are my suggestions for fantasy book lovers who want to try anime. Have you watched any of these? What do you think? Do you think these are a good 5 to share with people? And yeah, if you watch any of them or have any other questions about them, leave them below and I would be happy to answer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy snacking, happy binging, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!